It was the kind of romance you only see in movies. Jane met Tom, and within days they were inseparable. Flowers every morning, surprise dates every evening, and texts that never seemed to stop. It was perfect. Almost too perfect. You might be wondering, what's the catch? Isn't that what love is supposed to feel like? Well, let's slow down a bit. What Jane experienced was intense, passionate, and overwhelming. But here's the kicker. Sometimes what feels like a whirlwind romance can actually be something else entirely. This brings us to the topic of today's video, love bombing. Now you might be asking, what the heck is love bombing? Great question. Love bombing is when someone showers you with excessive affection, attention, and gifts right from the start of a relationship. It's like being hit by a tsunami of love. While it sounds amazing on the surface, it can actually be a form of emotional manipulation. But then you might say, isn't it natural to be super affectionate when you're head over heels for someone? Sure, but the difference lies in the intent and the pace. Love bombing is often about control, creating a dependency and rushing the emotional bond before it naturally develops. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into 5 signs you might be love bombing someone without even realizing it. Because let's be honest, we all want to love and be loved in a healthy way. If you're here, chances are you care about your relationships and want to make sure you're not unintentionally crossing any lines. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's explore this together. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of love bombing and how to ensure your expressions of love are genuine and respectful. Understanding love bombing, origin and definitions. All right, let's dig a little deeper into this whole love bombing thing. Where does it come from and why does it happen? Understanding the origins of love bombing can give us some crucial insights into its psychological underpinnings. The term love bombing was actually coined by the Unification Church of the United States in the 1970s. They used this technique to recruit new members by overwhelming them with affection and attention, making them feel uniquely valued and special. Over time, the concept made its way into the realm of romantic relationships, where it describes similar patterns of excessive, overwhelming love. You might be thinking, so is love bombing always intentional? And that's where it gets tricky. The intent behind love bombing can vary. Some people use it as a deliberate strategy to manipulate and control others. They shower you with love to quickly build an emotional dependency, which can later be exploited. But here's the thing. Not all love bombing is premeditated. Sometimes it happens unconsciously. People might genuinely believe they're showing affection, unaware that their actions are overwhelming or smothering. This is where intent versus impact comes into play. Let's break this down. Intentional love bombing is about control. The person knows they're doing it to get something in return, be it loyalty, attention, or power over you. Unintentional love bombing, on the other hand, is often rooted in a lack of self-awareness. The person doesn't realize their intense behavior might be causing discomfort or pressure. This brings us to the concept of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is about being aware of and managing your own emotions, as well as understanding and influencing the emotions of others. High emotional intelligence means you're more likely to recognize when your actions might be crossing a line, even if your intentions are pure. So why is self-awareness so crucial in avoiding unintentional love bombing? Because it helps you gauge the impact of your actions on your partner. It allows you to step back and ask yourself, is my way of showing love making my partner feel genuinely valued, or is it overwhelming them? By developing emotional intelligence, you can ensure that your expressions of love are respectful and considerate, creating a healthier, more balanced relationship dynamic. And trust me, that's something we all should strive for. Sign 1. Overwhelming displays of affection. Let's kick things off with the first sign you might be love bombing without knowing it. Overwhelming displays of affection. Now don't get me wrong, showing affection is a beautiful part of any relationship, but when it's dialed up to 11 right from the start, it can be a red flag. So what do overwhelming displays of affection look like? Imagine this. You've just started dating someone, and within a week, they're showering you with constant compliments, flooding your phone with sweet texts, and sending you lavish gifts. At first, it might feel amazing. Who doesn't like to be adored? But here's where it gets tricky. This intensity can quickly become overwhelming. Picture receiving a dozen roses every day, endless love letters and nonstop declarations of how perfect you are. It's like being under a spotlight 24/7. You barely have time to breathe, let alone process your own feelings. Let's look at some specific examples. 1. Constant compliments. Your partner can't stop telling you how amazing you are. Every text, every conversation is filled with praises. While compliments are nice, when they're excessive, they can feel insincere and pressured. 2. Excessive gifts. You've been on 3 dates, and they've already given you expensive jewelry, designer clothes, and booked a weekend getaway. It feels like they're trying to buy your affection rather than letting it develop naturally. 3. Non-stop communication. They text you from morning till night, expect immediate responses, and get upset if you don't reply quickly. This relentless need for contact can invade your personal space and leave you feeling suffocated. So why is this behavior problematic? First off, it creates an imbalance in the relationship. The recipient might feel pressured to reciprocate the intensity, even if they're not ready. It can also mask deeper issues like insecurity or the need for control. When affection is overwhelming, it doesn't give the relationship a chance to grow at a natural pace. The recipient might feel like they're being swept off their feet, but they're also being swept away from their own comfort zone and boundaries. This can lead to feelings of anxiety, guilt, and even resentment. It's not about the quantity of affection, but the quality. Genuine love allows room for both partners to breathe, to grow, and to feel secure. It's important to be mindful of how your displays of affection are received, and to ensure they're enhancing the relationship, not overwhelming it. Sign 2. Rapid acceleration of the relationship. Alright, let's move on to the second sign you might be love bombing without realizing it. The rapid acceleration of the relationship. This one's a classic and probably the most obvious sign when you know what to look for. So what exactly does rapid acceleration mean in the context of a relationship? It's when the relationship moves forward at an unusually fast pace, skipping over the natural stages of getting to know each other. It's like putting your relationship on fast forward, jumping from just met to forever and always in a matter of weeks. Let's dive into some examples. 1. Moving in together too quickly. You've been dating for a few weeks, and suddenly there's talk of moving in together. Sure, the thought of sharing a space might sound romantic, but skipping those crucial getting to know you phases can lead to major issues down the road. 2. Talking about the future early on. After just a couple of dates, there's already talk about marriage, kids, and growing old together. Planning a future is a natural part of a relationship. But when these conversations happen too soon, it can feel like there's an agenda at play. 3. Intense declarations of love. You've barely had a few dates, and one person is already declaring their undying love. While some people might genuinely feel a strong connection early on, such intensity can often be overwhelming and premature. Now let's talk about why this can be problematic. First off, rapid acceleration can create unrealistic expectations. When you fast-track a relationship, you're often building it on excitement of the moment rather than a solid foundation of mutual understanding and respect. There's also the risk of missing red flags. In the whirlwind of fast-paced romance, it's easy to overlook potential issues or incompatibilities. You're so caught up in the excitement that you might ignore warning signs that could be significant down the line. Moreover, the pressure to keep up with the pace can be overwhelming. One partner might feel rushed or pressured to commit to things they're not ready for, leading to stress and anxiety. This imbalance can cause resentment and even drive a wedge between you. Relationships are like plants. They need time to grow and develop. Pacing is crucial because it allows both partners to get to know each other deeply, build trust, and create a strong, resilient bond. When you rush through these stages, you're more likely to end up with a fragile relationship that can't withstand the inevitable changes that come your way. In short, while it's natural to be excited about a new relationship, it's important to let it unfold at a natural pace. This way, you give yourself and your partner the best chance to build something real and lasting. Sign 3. Excessive communication. Now let's talk about the third sign you might be love bombing without realizing it. Excessive communication. Communication is the backbone of any healthy relationship. But when it becomes excessive, it can start to feel more like a burden than a blessing. So what does excessive communication entail? It's when one partner is constantly trying to connect without giving the other person any breathing room. It's those endless texts, multiple phone calls a day, and the expectation that you'll respond immediately no matter what you're doing. Examples of constant communication includes 1. Constant texting. Your phone buzzes every few minutes with messages from your partner, from good morning texts to what are you doing updates every hour. The communication never stops. It can start to feel like you're under surveillance rather than in a loving relationship. 2. Calling multiple times a day. Your partner calls you repeatedly throughout the day, expecting lengthy conversations each time. Whether you're at work, out with friends, or just trying to relax, there's a constant demand for your attention. 3. Expecting immediate responses. When you don't reply to a text within a few minutes, they send follow-up messages, call, or even get upset. This kind of pressure can make you feel like you're walking on eggshells, always worried about how quickly you're responding. Now, why is this behavior problematic? First and foremost, excessive communication can lead to dependency. When one partner is always available and constantly seeking validation through contact, it creates an unhealthy dynamic. The relationship starts to revolve around constant reassurance rather than mutual respect and independence. This level of intensity can also lead to emotional burnout. Both parties can start to feel exhausted by the never-ending communication. The recipient might feel overwhelmed and trapped, while the initiator might feel anxious if their attempts at contact aren't reciprocated immediately. Moreover, it can stifle individuality. Healthy relationships allow space for personal growth and independence. When you're constantly in touch, there is little room for either partner to have their own experiences, hobbies, or time to themselves. This can lead to resentment and a loss of personal identity. While staying connected is important, it's equally crucial to maintain a balance. Giving each other space to breathe and be individuals strengthens the relationship in the long run. Remember, quality over quantity. Meaningful conversations and shared moments will always outweigh a flood of constant superficial contact. Neglecting personal boundaries. Let's imagine you're enjoying a quiet evening, reading your favorite book, when your partner shows up unannounced, insisting you spend time together. Or maybe you've mentioned needing some alone time, but they keep pushing to be with you every moment. This brings us to our fourth sign you might be love bombing without realizing it. Neglecting personal boundaries. Neglecting personal boundaries is when one partner consistently oversteps the other's limits, often unintentionally. It's about not respecting the space, time, and emotional needs of the other person. Let's look at some examples. 1. Invading personal space. Your partner drops by your home or workplace uninvited, expecting you to drop everything for them. While spontaneity can be romantic, constantly ignoring your need for personal space can feel intrusive and disrespectful. 2. Disregarding alone time. You've mentioned needing some time to yourself, maybe to unwind after a long day or pursue a hobby. But instead of respecting that, your partner insists on being with you, making you feel guilty for wanting solitude. 3. Overstepping emotional boundaries. You might have topics or memories that are sensitive for you, but your partner keeps bringing them up, dismissing your discomfort. This can create an atmosphere where you don't feel safe to express your true feelings. Now, why is respecting personal boundaries so crucial for a healthy relationship? First off, boundaries are essential for maintaining individuality. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel free to pursue their own interests, spend time alone, and set limits on what they're comfortable with. When boundaries are neglected, it can lead to resentment and frustration. The person whose boundaries are being ignored may start to feel suffocated and undervalued, which can erode trust and intimacy over time. Moreover, respecting boundaries is a fundamental aspect of emotional intelligence. It's about recognizing and honoring your partner's needs and limits, even if they differ from your own. This respect fosters a sense of safety and trust in the relationship. Neglecting boundaries can also lead to a loss of self-identity. Each partner needs space to grow and develop as an individual. When one person's boundaries are consistently overstepped, it can stifle their personal growth and create an unhealthy dependency. Respecting personal boundaries is about creating a balanced, healthy dynamic where both partners feel valued and understood. It allows the relationship to flourish naturally, without the pressure of constant togetherness or the fear of losing oneself in the process. Sign 5. Making the relationship all-consuming. Imagine this. You used to have a vibrant social life, hobbies that fueled your passion, and a sense of independence. But now it feels like your relationship has swallowed everything whole. This brings us to the 5th sign you might be love bombing without realizing it. Making the relationship all-consuming. An all-consuming relationship is where the relationship becomes the center of your universe, to the exclusion of everything else. It's when you start to isolate yourself from friends and family, and your individual interests begin to fade away. Let's explore some examples. 1. Isolating from friends and family. You used to spend weekends catching up with your friends or visiting family. Now, you're always with your partner, often to the point where you rarely see anyone else. It's as if your social circle has shrunk down to just one person. 2. Losing individual interests. Remember those hobbies you loved? Maybe you used to paint, play a sport, or read for hours. But now all your time and energy go into the relationship, and those personal passions have taken a back seat. 3. Neglecting self-care. You used to have a routine that included exercise, healthy eating, and time for relaxation. But now everything revolves around your partner's schedule and needs, and your self-care habits have fallen by the wayside. So why is this problematic? First and foremost, losing individuality in a relationship can lead to a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. When your entire identity becomes wrapped up in your partner, you lose touch with who you are as an individual. This kind of dynamic can also breed resentment. If one partner feels they've had to give up too much for the relationship, it can lead to feelings of frustration and bitterness. A healthy relationship should enhance your life, not consume it entirely. Maintaining a balanced life is crucial for your well-being and for the health of the relationship. This means keeping up with friendships, pursuing your own interests, and ensuring you both have time for self-care. It's about creating a partnership where both people support each other's growth and independence. A truly healthy relationship allows space for both partners to thrive as individuals. It's about finding a balance where you can be deeply connected without losing sight of your own needs, passions, and relationships outside of the partnership. How to address and change these behaviors. Alright, so we've covered the signs you might be love bombing without realizing it. But what do you do if you recognize these behaviors in yourself? Let's talk about how to address and change them. First and foremost, self-reflection is key. Take a step back and honestly assess your actions and intentions. Ask yourself why you're behaving this way. Is it out of insecurity, fear of losing the person, or something else? Understanding the root cause is the first step toward making a change. Next, open communication with your partner is crucial. Sit down and have an honest conversation about your behaviors and how they might be affecting the relationship. Express your desire to improve and ask for their perspective. This can be a great opportunity to set healthy boundaries and mutual expectations. Lastly, don't hesitate to seek professional help if needed. A therapist or counselor can provide valuable insights and strategies for changing these behaviors. They can help you build healthier relationship patterns and address any underlying issues that might be driving your actions. Remember, the goal is to foster a relationship where both partners feel respected, valued, and independent. By reflecting on your actions, communicating openly, and seeking help when necessary, you can create a more balanced and fulfilling partnership. Okay, let's wrap this up. We've talked about 5 key signs you might be love bombing without even realizing it. Overwhelming displays of affection, rapid acceleration of the relationship, excessive communication, neglecting personal boundaries, and making the relationship all-consuming. These behaviors, though often well-intentioned, can undermine the health and balance of a relationship. Recognizing them is the first step toward fostering a more respectful and independent partnership. I encourage you to strive for healthier relationship dynamics. It's about finding that balance where you can be deeply connected while still maintaining your individuality. Remember, a great relationship enhances your life. It doesn't consume it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on emotional intelligence and relationship advice. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences, so drop a comment below. Have you noticed any of these signs in your relationships? How did you address them? Sharing your story might help others on their journey too. Thanks for watching, and remember, self-awareness and open communication are the keys to a healthy, fulfilling relationship. Take care, and see you in the next video.